Here's what you missed on Phathead and Cande in the morning. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.
My Country 96.1, Phathead, Cande Roth. It is show week. Brothers Osbourne, Travis Denning, and Tennille Towns are coming to the Long Island Community Hospital Amphitheater at Bald Hill this Saturday. Big show, Ticketmaster.com. Weather for Saturday looks amazing right now, Cande. I know we're a week out, but they are calling for a gorgeous Saturday for the show. So everyone get ready. Come on out, Ticketmaster, and we'll be all set. Tickets available for you. One thing I did not get to speak about earlier this hour as we discussed our weekend, Cande, is...
we discussed your weekend, but go ahead.
No, you told me about your little walks and you're sitting in the sun. Okay, all right. You think I don't pay enough attention to you? Go ahead. How was your... What special things did you do this weekend,
I really
Cande?
didn't do anything special. Move on. I'm not important.
I did Saturday go see my parents, me and the girls.
We had a date.
I had a date. Yes, I had a date. It was a coworker from Nashville, someone from a record label that we deal with from Nashville who had... Yes? What?
I was going to say, you sent me her picture. She happens to be very attractive.
Well, you say to me, oh, you're going on a date, blah, 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 blah. So I said, you know what? Let's just settle this once and for all. You want to see, and by the way, she slept over my house before, like a year ago, Cande.
Oh, I thought you meant, my heart just dropped. I thought you meant she slept over Saturday night.
No, before COVID, she slept over my...
Mamma mia.
This is not a secret. Dana's very close with this girl.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
So I sent you a picture to say, oh, you so interested? Here you go. And, yeah, I mean, she's an attractive, she's a good-looking girl. Yes,
yeah,
we'll leave it at that. But she was also with her mother and her sister and her sister's two children. They're all on vacation, Cande. She was in town for the Luke Bryan concert.
Right.
At Jones Beach.
So that was a crowded date.
Right, so she... and my kids in tow, yes. But it was... she decided to make a vacation out of it, and wouldn't you know it, like a week beforehand, she texts me and says, do you know where anything about the Rockaway Hotel? And I said, the Rockaway Hotel?
What?
I said, I grew up in Rockaway. What are you doing in Rockaway? Because anyone who knows Rockaway knows that if you're in town for business on Long Island or Jones Beach or whatever, Rockaway is way out of the way. Not a place you would think of staying, Cande.
Right.
But they were doing it for a vacation. They were there for like 4 or 5 days. So they were right on the beach. We met at a restaurant. By the way, my father and mother, I got the text from my father, but I think it was a combined effort. My mother and father recommended this restaurant, which happened to be, Cande, a bar that we used to go to in high school and college. It was one... Now, it's a different restaurant now, but back in the day in Rockaway, there was this bar right by the Cross Bay Bridge. I think it was called The Bridge. That was the name of the bar. And they'd let anyone in. High school, college, didn't matter. There was no drinking age at The Bridge in Rockaway, Cande. But now, it is called The Bungalow, and it is a gorgeous waterside restaurant that we went to. And we had a nice dinner, and we enjoyed. Beforehand,
now, how many were there at the dinner?
There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. 8 of us.
Wow.
8 of us, yes. It was, her and her family, as I mentioned, and then me and Leah and Abigail. First, when we got to Rockaway, we went to my parents' house because I figured, let me see my parents first before I go sit down to a dinner with 5 people. Let me go to my parents' house and see them, because, with COVID and everything, right?
Why didn't you invite them to join you?
No, they weren't. And it's not my place to invite my parents to dinner. This is, all right. You know what I mean? So, we went, we visited my parents, we had a nice time. My mother put out some fruit and some chips, and we hung out there for about an hour, and then went to dinner, and it was a nice time. We had a great time. I'll tell you what. My parents in the summer, they hate what has become of Rockaway in the summer, Cande.
No.
It's a good thing. It has become a big tourist destination. They really built it up.
I had an aunt we used to visit in the Rockaways.
Yeah, you wouldn't even recognize it.
Wow.
They have built up the beach area with the concessions and the restaurants all over town and the food trucks and the ferry. You know, there's a ferry now that takes you to New York City, and it's like, it's a tourist destination. So my father's like, on the weekend, we can't go out to dinner in the summer. We can't get a table.
I know. You know, I used to live at the Jersey Shore where I had my first job in radio, and I agree. All the Bennies, we used to call them, come down there in the summer, and it's nice when they all leave.
Yeah, so, but I'll tell you, they really built it up beautiful. It's a lot going on out there. And I can see why my parents stay there and love it, even though their kids have moved away. They, you know, it's a beautiful area. Every time I drive through it, I marvel at what I had as a kid, you know, growing up. Like, can't believe I grew up in that area. It's really, you don't appreciate it as a kid. But,
right, you don't.
No.
Like where I grew up, I didn't appreciate it. It's actually beautiful country. Gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. But there you go. Had a nice weekend all around, Cande. Now you're up to date. Okay?
Up to date, feeling great. Isn't that nice?
Everyone's up to date. There you go. My country, 96.1.
Phathead and Cande in the morning. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.